Bienvenue au Gindreau, à Saint-Médard, au cœur de la vallée du Ver, donc dans le département du
Welcome
Lot.
to Gindreau in Saint-Médard, in the heart of the Valley du Ver, in the Lot department, an ideal country and territory for truffles. We are at the end of the season, but still have a very good production of nice aromas, tastes, still keep negotiate. We're going to combine it with these early vegetables that are starting to arrive, and we're going to prepare a dish that will speak of truffles, smell of truffle. That is why we're going to prepare a simple dish with hints of black truffle, and we're going to play with seasonings, with the different and varied movements of temperature, and mixed with these early vegetables, trying to bring some keys to capture, well, the aromas, the taste of the truffle. So there are two terroirs, two aromas. There will be two different tastes. In this one, there will be some garlic notes, something gassy, and I know from my experience that this one will be more difficult to capture the aroma. On the palate, on the nose, it's very precise, it's very direct and solid, but more sensitive to temperature. It's more difficult to explain in words because for me, according to my culture, it is important to have a good aroma, a good flavor. This other one is also good, but this is the one that may seem more perfect, maybe because it is a ghost vision. And because this one is less sensitive to temperature, and on the contrary, it will take a bit more for it to live well. We're tempted to say that it has a rounder flavor, almost a bit sugary. Perhaps from the point of view of smell, this is reminiscent of the smell of the truffle when it is in the ground, because it has a very particular smell at the moment, and just at that moment. It has a concentrated and powerful flavor when you take it out of the ground. There is a lot of talk about the truffle. It is true, it's a beautiful story. 9 months of waiting, and we're very happy. I think we have talked enough about it, and we're going to start cooking. We have made a simple pastry, a little bit of flour and eggs. So you have to prepare it the day before so that it settles. It is about pressing slices of truffle inside, so that visually it speaks of truffle, and that taste-wise it does its job, interchanging tastes between the pastry and the truffle. In fact, we have put slices of truffle in the thick pastry. We will fold one half over the other, then slowly pass it through the machine, step by step, so that the truffle does not break, and so that the truffle can be flattened, printed, and embedded in the dough. Simply with your hands, as this way you can feel the temperature, the dough, the good consistency.
Donc au fur et à mesure, vous voyez, ça commence à se...
Little by little, it becomes like a fossil print. And it reminds us of the stones that we have in our region, in the coast region, or in other counties. As we will have prepared this dough the day before, it is ideal for it to have time to mature and to mark the dough to our taste and to separate it. We already have the dough prepared for the recipe, and the idea is to leave it in the open air for 15-20 minutes and keep it cool, because the fungus is, so the truffle is a living organism. The egg in the dough isn't cooked, so they are fragile to mix. So once we have the doughs already made, they will do their job of infusing, perfuming, and exchanging with the dough. So let's now take care of the vegetables and get to work on the truffle. So let's choose the nicest looking one, the most rounded. Well, and then we're going to work with them in different ways. Some will be used cooked, other crushed, raw, other grated. With this artisanal grater. As for the truffle, it is a choice. I prefer to peel everything very delicately. All the peridium is removed, which of course we will keep, because we will use it either raw or to boil in a vegetable stock or even to cook. Cooking the truffle will lead to different tastes than the raw taste. However, keeping the taste in our mouth is quite interesting. What we're trying to do in our kitchen is to trap the floral side of the truffle with this famous pastry that we are preparing. The taste is very intense. From the one barely cooked to the other one that will be cooked and will complete its aromas from the beginning. We can peel a truffle like an apple. We can also eat the skin of the truffle, but the best part is what is underneath. So we have adapted the recipe, the cooking according to the raw material, the truffles we have available. It will be finer and more subtle in texture, but even in terms of taste, it is something else. The peridium, this outer part, can be crushed. We can use it raw, and this will add some crunchiness, but we're going to add it in the amount that fits what we want to achieve. But the best bit is in the heart of the truffle. As for the rest, of course, we are going to use it. We can cook it, crush it, or macerate it, but we will put more inside the finished product than outside. Going to try to make this kind of pastry or paste to bind the moisture of the truffle with this matter. This is the grater that the Japanese use to emulsify the wasabi mustard. The result is a super creamy ointment. It's not very complicated, just a circular movement. You might think that it is very smooth, but I assure you that it's quite rough. And then you end up with this very creamy paste. You can see that it's very fine. I'm not going to cook this. I'm going to use it either raw. It's a shame that you cannot really smell it because we are breaking the truffle. So the aroma is very powerful. However, in terms of taste, we're going to use it at the very last moment. With the truffle, we're going to prepare the slices, then to slide them with a mandolin. Once the truffle is peeled, for me, the good temperature is between 39, 42, or 43 degrees. So we prepare these slices a bit thick like this one, and this way we get good material. This year, for us, well, we've got a very good season, so it is easier to work. And now we're going to work with the last truffle material, apart from what we have crushed in the mortar and pestle, which will be used in the recipe. All the pieces of truffle that we have not used, the slices, the peelings, the truffle paste with its cooking water, the cooked and crushed truffle, the small pieces that have been macerated in salt, and the one that we have kept to be grated at the last moment and put it on top. Everything is going to put in a mortar with a little bit of truffle juice, and we're going to crush it and prepare a kind of seasoning. We crush and emulsify the truffle like this in the mortar. What I like about the truffle is this alkaline hint or nuance. So we're going to make a small condiment or seasoning in the mortar. As we are in the early vegetable season, we're going to add some raw peas. So also some anchovies, and this will be used as a seasoning for salads. These are raw peas.
On va rajouter à la fin un tout petit peu d'huile de noix.
We add a little bit of walnut oil. If we use olive oil, it also works, but as we grow walnut in this region, we are using walnut oil. Then we are going to use a little bit of quenelle, some peas, anchovies, and black truffle that we will place later with the rest of the plant inside the salad leaves. It's a nice moment because this is now the end of the truffle season, but it is the beginning of the vegetable season, a beautiful alliance. So to begin with, we start working with these vegetables, the broad bean pods, and small artichoke leaves. They taste a little bit bitter, but it's fine. You can also put some turnip peelings, carrot peelings, lettuce leaves, and all the trimmings and leftovers from spring garlic, for instance. So here you can see all these vegetables, and you can make a broth, and this will be used as a base. And it's also a base for infusing the truffles to cook them a little. In a frying pan, we will heat the walnut oil or the olive oil, whichever you prefer. You add enough butter, you salt it, you stir it as if we were caramelizing the mixture. And then we will add the truffle peelings that we had at the beginning when we were preparing the truffles. So we cook them a little bit. And then we're going to use a little bit of vegetable stock. We're going to cook it, and then we will prepare the garnish that will be served with it. It's a shame that you can't smell all this because we see the truffle, the peas, the beans. We're not going to cook it too much because otherwise the taste will be lost. We leave it to infuse in a corner of the pan. We leave it on a low heat so that the peas cook with the asparagus, so that they take up the taste and are fully scented, and that they stay green. And then the truffle paste that we made earlier is going to be added now. So we will take a spoonful and take it off the heat. We will leave it to melt inside in the broth, but without heating. We have the truffle smell. In my opinion, it's very good. We will leave it. We will let it sit for a couple of minutes. And now we're going to prepare the paste. And this is done instantaneously, just seconds, some seconds.
Tout est prêt. Maintenant, on va pouvoir passer au dressage de l'assiette.
So everything is ready. Now we're going to start plating the hot plates. We're going to arrange the cooked and ground truffle with a little bit of truffle juice to have a more consistent and coherent emulsion. On top, we're going to add some pasta. A second piece of pasta. And the rest of the vegetables, artichokes, peas, first baby carrots, spring garlic, and a little bit of cooking broth. Some heart of romaine lettuce, and some baby broad beans. And on top of it, we're going to add some more truffle pasta, some warm truffle slices. They will melt at the temperature of the dish. A few grains of truffle salt, a little just above each truffle slice, on top of each truffle slice. On the side, we will place some leaves of romaine lettuce, tender leaves with the garnish of fish seasoning, anchovies, some peeled broad beans, these slices of truffle, cooking juice, and this will be served on the side on a different plate. And this will be brought to the dining room. That is, we have reached the end of this exquisite truffled moment. I can tell you many more things about truffles, but I hope that within 10 years we will know much more. We could conclude by saying that the history of the truffle makes us talk about it every year, but if we want to find its taste and aroma, we need truffle.